Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Leonie, aka Stitching Noni, and I'm back again for FlossTube number 26. I should grab my notes, I left them over there. So today is the 8th of June 2019. It's a Saturday here. We have a bit of stormy weather planned. I shouldn't say planned. You don't plan for stormy weather, do you? It's winter. We're in winter now. We had some rain over the last couple of days, which has been really nice, and apparently we're getting storms today. So looking outside, you can see it could very well happen. Hopefully it will hold off until I've done my video, because I don't think we want the bang crash of any thunder or rolling winds. It's pretty windy out there, but it's hopefully it will not affect too much the sound on the video. I apologise ahead of the game if it does get a bit noisy. If it does, I'll just stop recording and I'll do it another day, but I want to try and get this out today, otherwise you won't get a video. Simple as that. Anyway, ramble. God, I do it every time, don't I? Ramble. So here we are, back again for a bit of an update. So the last video I did was back on the 6th of May. I didn't intend to come back, but time gets away. Things just don't happen the way they should do, and I haven't had a chance to get back before now to give you a bit of an update on what I was up to for Stitch Mania. So I'll give you a bit of an update of what I did throughout May. Stitch Mania didn't end up being quite the way I was originally thinking. I was going to plan to do 5 starts, but that didn't happen. And yeah, I did pretty much focus on mirrors, which was good, but I had a couple of other whips in there as well. A lot of it, as usual, was dictated by Magical Stitches and the new one that I'm in, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So what have I got today? So this update will cover my stitching from the 6th of May to last night, the 7th of June. I will show you 10 whips, a start and a finish. So that's pretty good. I didn't get a finish in May, which was a bit sad, but I did get a finish just a couple of days ago for June. So with a bit of luck, I'll have another finish today if I can get that sorted out. But that's enough for that. So as I mentioned, my stitching again for the month was a little bit dictated by homework in Magical Stitches, but it was also dictated by the new group that I've joined, which is the Quest for the One Ring, which is based on The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. This particular time it's based on The Hobbit, which is fabulous because it means I've rewatched all the 3 Hobbit movies. Oh, I love The Hobbit. This is more me. This is Lord of the Rings is definitely more me than I love Harry Potter, but Lord of the Rings is me. So while the group being developed was a bit of a sad time for those people involved in what happened in Magical Stitches, and I won't go through that because I'm sure everybody either knows or has heard. So it was a little bit of a sad upset that caused the girls to split, and the outcome of that was a fabulous new group based, still the same sort of thing, having quests and challenges and homework and things like that, but it's just great. I've really enjoyed what I've been doing for that one. Still working through semi-sane stitches, so I love being in that group. That is such good fun. And Cross Stitch Finish Line and Stitch Mania sales, as well as other different groups around Soulful Stitching and Stitch from Stash and all that. So there's always something in one of the Facebook groups or somewhere that I've picked up that I'm trying to fit all my stuff into, and depending on what works is what rules my life for that week. But that's all good. And so as I mentioned, Stitch Mania didn't quite go as planned. Should have gone back and checked my last video to see what I did, but I forgot to do that. So I think from memory I said I was going to be mainly monogamous on mirrors or Nora gobbets, which I was mainly. And I think from memory I said I was going to try and have 5 starts, because I was thinking I'd try and do a start on each weekend, but that didn't actually happen. But I did have one, which I'll show you in a moment. And what else? Oh, that's right. So my mirror whips were driven by Semi-Sane Stitches Choose My Whip month. So it was picking a couple of whips, posting them, and whichever got the most votes basically was your whip for the week. So that's how I did my mirrors. I just put those couple up, and then whatever someone chose, or what was the highest had the highest votes was the one I stitched on for the week in most cases. What else did we have? I think that was about it. I think that's what ruled my life pretty much for May. So what we will start with is I did have a start in the first part of May. So I recorded my video on the 6th of May, and I'm sure I told you what I was starting. I did start it. Oh, excuse me. Put a pen there. So I started the Horsing Around, which is one of the Little House Needleworks Farmhouse Christmas. And I was quite pleased with my start for that. So we managed to do that much. So quite pleased with that. That went up really quite well. So it's, I think I did it for, I decided I'd put some notes down so I work out exactly what I did it for this time. So this is actually on Heritage Picture, this plus 36 count Heritage, but of course it's looking a bit brown because of the light I've got. I'll put that behind, will that pick up a bit more green? No, this makes it worse. So I'm doing it 1/1, sorry, 1/2 with the called for threads on 36 count. And I used this as a new start for Stitch Mania. I used it for monthly extra credit for magical stitches. I also used it for the homework. So I used it for a form of transport because it's got a horse in it. So a horse can be used as a form of transport. And the other magical stitches task was for to stitch on something with an eye for Mad Eye Moody. So you had to do 500 stitches. So I used this because there's a horse, there's a chicken, there's a bird, and there's a human, and they all have eyes. So that worked really well. And I got quite a few. I think I used that for 2 different monthly tasks as well as the weekly homework. So I got quite a few stitches in that. So I was really pleased. That will come out again soon because I want to try and get that finished. Let me try and make it. I'm going to put my stuff now. I'll pop it down there for now. So that took me from the 6th of May to the 11th of May. Then on the 11th of May, my first Mira was chosen, and it turned out to be Shimmering Mermaid. So I worked on it for that sale, for the Choose My Whip. I also used it for magical stitches for extra credit, and used it again for Mad Eye Moody because the mermaid's got an eye. But I also used it for the Great Lake task. So the Great Lake task was to stitch on something that you find in a lake, or in this case the lake in Harry Potter has a mermaid. So this is Shimmering Mermaid from Mirabilia. Oops, there's a bit, take the glare off. And this is where she is at. I will put in a before picture so that you can see where it is, and that'll go in here. And this is where she's at now. So I am really seriously pleased with this. I even started to put in some of the Krynic as well. And then there was some little bit of Krynic up there. So really, really pleased with the progress I got on this one. Very, very happy with her. So I think I'll be pulling her out again soon because she's just so pretty. And the colours, you know, like as we all know, the photos don't do any justice, but the colours are quite muted. But when you stitch her up, she is absolutely gorgeous. This is on 32 count Opal Belfast, called Oceans from Colour Cascade Fabrics. So she can go down there. That took me, so that was 5 days, because I stitched on her from the 11th to the 15th of May. Then on the 6th of May, we had another Mira come out. So Choose My Whip came up with Dressmaker's Daughter in this case. Again, another beautiful one. Now my plan with Dressmaker's Daughter when I first started her was to do seasonal stitching. So I started on the summer one and then went sideways to the spring one. And the idea was I would get enough of this finished to come over to autumn. Well, autumn's gone now, we're in winter. yeah, so next year maybe when it comes back. But so I'll tell you the story in a second. I'll tell you what I use this for. So I use this for Magical Stitches homework. And what I decided to do, this is also a Stitchathon weekend for Cross Stitch Finish Line. Now, the homework I used this one for Magical Stitches was the Try Wizard homework. But I decided that, because that one you had, the Try Wizard homework was to stitch on a whip. So we have a whip album in Magical Stitches. And I can't remember the process now, how we chose. Oh, they said if you had more than 20 whips or more than 19 whips, you had to stitch on, I think it was whip number 4. Well, when I looked at the whip number, I went, no, I don't want to do that one. It wasn't a Mira for a start, and I just didn't feel like it. So I took penalty stitches on this one and ended up doing the 300 penalty stitches. I think it was 300. And then, because it was a Stitchathon weekend, I focused on this one. But I'm devastated. So, I'll put in a before picture. So you will see how much I've done, and I'm really pleased with what I've ended up doing, but I am a little bit devo because, so this is what it looks like now. Okay, so I mainly focused on this girl. So this is summer. Now, as I mentioned, my idea was I was going to do seasonal stitching. So when I came to start spring, I quickly went down here and got to the bottom so I could come across. So anyway, I'm stitching away on this and I'm stitching in here. And then I'm thinking, well, that's not right, I've miscounted. So I went back up here and I checked all around here and I'm like, I must have missed a count. It's not lining up. Couldn't find it. And then I twigged what I'd done is I'd miscounted up here. There was 2 rows I missed, which meant that that was 2 rows higher than it should have been. So I had to rip out all of that to line all that up, fix all that up to go back over here. So now, as you see, this is all got to come out because it no longer lines up with that. It's 2 rows. So basically I stitched on this from the 16th to the 19th of May and got all of that, quite a lot of work done in this area, which I'm really pleased about, but I'm going to have to rip out all of spring. So I'm devo, because I was thinking how good is that I could just, you know, play around. I was actually going to come across. So what I'm actually going to do now is just keep going across here. I'm almost to this side now, so I'll just do winter over here maybe. But I'm putting her away because I'm just so peeved that I have to rip it out. But never mind, it is what it is. And it serves me right for not double checking when I was doing it in the first place, because I should have checked it and made sure that it was right before I went across and started it. It's just one of those things. So this is on 32 count Belfast, and it's on a fabric called Golden Touch, which is pink with little splotches of goldy brown throughout it. And it's also a colour Cascade fabric. And I'm devastated. I'm just going to be devastated till I get some time to pull that one back into line with where it should be. Excuse me, I'll grab my cup of tea. Don't know when that'll be. Some point. So moving right along. So because I got to that point where I just didn't want to stitch on it anymore, because every time I looked at it while I'm stitching, I'm thinking, oh no, I'm going to pull this out. So I thought, no, putting her away. So then I decided on the 19th of May to pull out my little sheepy that I'm doing, which needed some love. And I had to do some stitches really quickly for the pop-up event. I can't remember what the pop-up event was now, but I had to do it really quickly. So it was, I think it was a Sunday. It must have been a Sunday. And it was actually quite nice outside. So I sat outside on the stool and quickly stitched. I think I had to do 40 something. I don't know how many stitches I had to do, but I quickly stitched on it. So while I was sitting out in the sun and enjoying the sun. So this is Have Ye Any Wool, which is a Brenda Gervais with a needle and thread design. I'm stitching this for the Sheep Loving Stitches sale, which is like, should have been finished by now. But that's okay. It's just one of those things. We'll keep on doing it as we do it, won't we? But yes, so that is that beautiful, beautiful design. And this is where she's at now. And I think this is on Picture This Plus, 36 count, upside down. Excuse me, 36 count. I'm sure it's oaken. If it's not, I'll let you know. I'll also put in a before pic somewhere around in here, wherever it goes, and then you'll see that I didn't really do very much. I've just basically done another couple of rows into her skirt. And the skirt, as I think I probably would have mentioned before, is the same as the stripe in his trousers. So I did the stripes down and I'm doing the skirt that way, just to have a slightly different look about it. But she will come back out again because I really do like that design. It is a real sweet design. And that only got, I think, about an hour's worth of work on it, but at some point it will come back out. So yes, that was a Sunday, because the next one I worked on, because I also on that Sunday worked on Dressmaker's Daughter, so that was for like about an hour or so in the morning, and then in the afternoon I did Dressmaker's Daughter. So on Monday the 20th of May, I pulled out another design, another whip to work on. This one I pulled out, I was supposed to do a mirror, but I just wanted to get some homework done first, and then the mirror was later on in the week. So this was for the MS homework with, it was Meet the Challenges, I think it was called. And it was basically the Tri-Wizard event. So you had the 4 colours. It was brown, blue, yellow and red. And you had to do 200 stitches for each colour. And then the 5th part of that task was to then work on one of the colours again for the champion that you're following, I suppose you'd say. So I sort of had to think about how I wanted to do this one, and I've got, you know, had heaps of options that I could have done. But when I pulled the brown out and sort of started working on it, I just decided to stick with it. So I ended up doing 2 tasks of that for the brown. I didn't do any of the others. I failed on the rest. And well, it wasn't really a fail. You get your points for what you did, but I just didn't get any further done. So I then, for this one, I decided I would pull out a Stitcher's Prayer, because I was also using this for the Hobbit stitch for the 1 ring challenge, and that was to meet Gandalf. So there was a number of tasks under that one to meet Gandalf. One of the ones was where Gandalf puts a symbol on Bilbo's door so that the dwarfs know where to find him. And you had to do something with words, not letters, just words. I think it was that way around, but anyway, so I decided to work on this one. I'll put in a before pic. Now this is stitched on a Jodery Designs limited edition from December 2017, and it's called Mull Wine. It's a 28 count Opal Brittany, and here we are. So pretty much most of that I got done, because as you'll see in the before pic, I hadn't actually done very much. I'll just make this a little bit smaller. So pretty much got all of that done. So I'm quite pleased with that. Oops. Very pleased. And as most times, letters do go pretty quick. So that was good. So that one, I worked on that from the 20th to the 24th of May. And I was going to use it for the red and for the white for a couple of other challenges. And in the end, I just put it away. I thought I'd bring something else out. But I was quite pleased that I did get a reasonable amount done on that one, which was good because I've only touched it. That's the second time I've stitched it. So I started it, put it away, and that's the first time I've brought it out since. So it's always good to bring them out again and have a little bit of a go on them. So on the 25th of May, I bought out Miss Christmas Eve. Yeah, I know, 25th. It's not Christmas in July, but it's the 25th. So I thought that was appropriate because she was started on the 25th of December. So, I think it was the 25th. It's either 24th or 25th. I'm pretty sure I started Christmas Day. So, Miss Christmas Eve. Again, this is one I started and hadn't really touched since I started her. She is, I'll put in a before pic. On her. She is absolutely beautiful. And she doesn't have a lot of work because I actually only worked on her on one day. So that's it. That's all I've done. So I filled in all of the red in here, and I've done some more on the green and added a bit of the gold DMC. I used her for one of the, I'm just going to call it the Lord of the Rings, it's easier, okay? So one of the Lord of the Rings challenges, or the Hobbit challenges, I'll call it the Hobbit challenges. So one of the Hobbit challenges, I used it for her, I stitched on the green for that. And that challenge was to meet the dwarfs. So there is obviously 13 dwarves, and there's colours associated depending on what their clothing is and stuff. So I stitched the green stitches for Dwalin. And this is on, it doesn't really look as good in this light today, but this is on Silver Springs from Colour Cascade Fabrics, and it's a 32 Opal Belfast. There we go, you can sort of see it is a lovely colour. I love Silver Springs. So I only did stitch on her for the one day and managed to get the green in for Dwalin, so I was quite pleased with that. Then we pulled out. This is where we hit the Hobbit challenge right. Nailed it. Well, actually I didn't. I missed out on 2, but that's okay. I also then used the next one for the Magical Stitches Spew Challenge. Society for the Protection of Elf Welfare. Something like that. Anyway, Dobbies. Looking after Dobbies, in other words. And his mates. So, while I believe in spew, I decided that I didn't want to use 4 whips. So something starting with S, something starting with P, something starting with E, something starting with W. No, because I want to focus on one to do my dwarfs. So I took a penalty on spew and managed to spend some time on this one. Love this one. So this is Forever Friends, which is a Mill Hill kit, and the designer is actually Laurel Birch. But I just absolutely love this one. So this one I won a giveaway a number of years ago with one of our blogging friends, and the giveaway prize was a gift certificate, and I bought this one from 123 Stitch with the gift certificate. I'll put in a before picture. And you'll be very pleased to see, I'm just going to have to put something behind it because it's on linen, and it's a really thin or loosely weaved linen, woven linen. So here we go. Forever Friends. And don't you just love them? Are they so cute? I just love them. So with this one, I spent quite a bit of time stitching on this one, but being blocks of colours, it has gone quite quickly. So I did blue for Philly and Killy, so all the blues, the darker blue. I did the purple for Dory and Norrie, so the purple in there. I did more yellow for Byfor and Beaufort, so I did some yellow in there. I think I filled in some of those yellow spots up there, so, and I think I came across here. You'll see in the before pic what wasn't there before. And then for Thorin was light blue with silver tassels, but I thought, well, I could do some beading, some silver beads. I thought, no, I'll bugger it. I'll just do the light blue. So I managed to get 100 stitches in there for the light blue. I was also going to try and do some white. I started doing white for, what's his name? Glowin, I think his name was. but there's not enough, there wasn't 100 stitches in there, so there's 2 dwarves I've still got to do, which I'll do on the catch-up one, because with the Hobbit group, if you don't finish a challenge, you can do a catch-up that month, so I can go back and just finish off those, which will be good. But that's where it's at the moment. You can see if I take that paper away, the linen's quite thin. So, but it's staying on the Q-snap because I'm actually going to try and do some more work on that this month. And I'm not going to say it'll get finished, but you never know. It might. And so I worked on that from the 26th of May through to the 1st of June. Very, very pleased with that one. So then on the 1st of June, I pulled out another Mill Hill. And this one was also for a Hobbit challenge. And it was the challenge of eating Bilbo out of house and home. So you know when the dwarves arrive and they take over and they eat everything. Completely clear Bilbo out. So with this one, you rolled a dice. Whatever number you got, you then times it by 100. So I rolled a 4, which meant 400 stitches. Didn't quite get them. I made 193 out of the, but that's okay. I'm cool with that. That's fine. Again, makeup challenge. I can go back and make that up if I need to. So I did 193, and what I decided to do is, because you had to stitch on something with food, I decided to stitch on, I'll just pull it out of the bag, American Pie, because who doesn't like pie? So I will put in a before pic and you'll see where I started, but essentially I just had pie top. So I stitched on that on the 1st and the 2nd of June, and lo and behold, I have a finish. I know, it's not big, but it's finished. Love that. It just came up so well. So I will do a FFO on it at some point and fully finish it. But for now, I have a finish. So that's my 1st June finish. I'm quite pleased with that. That worked out really well. So that was, so I finished that off on the 2nd of June, and I am using, I used that for the Semi-Sane Stitches Casino sale for June. I used it for poker. So I managed to get 3 hands of poker in, which was really good. We're playing roulette at the moment. I didn't quite get as much stitching in for the 3 days of stitching for roulette. So I think I end up getting 340 stitches in, which gives me 1 bet. But you never know, my 1 bet might work. Then on the, how am I going to do this? Okay, so on the 3rd of June I stitched on 2 whips, but I'm not going to show you this one because I stitched on it again last night, so I'll hold this one back for now. It's another Mill Hill. But also on the 3rd of June, oh that's right, I did, yes. So also on the 3rd of June for poker, I stitched on one which I have not had out for quite some time. Again, another one which I sort of started, did a little bit and I think put away. So I'll put a before pitch in a sec. But this is Beach Cottage, which is a Country Cottage Needleworks one. And I had really only done, and you'll see in the before pic, just sort of a little bit in here and little bits around. I haven't really done a lot. I still haven't done a lot, but I've done a bit more. So this one is stitched on a Stitches and Spice fabric, so can't get this one anymore. It is called Dawn Light, and it is a 32 count Opal Belfast. It's beautiful, this fabric. I love this colour. And here we go. I should really iron these things, shouldn't I? This is actually a long 8, so you can see it's a nice long piece, but it's at the moment, so it's a bit awkward to handle. In fact, I'll just do that. Let me just do it this way. It's all because of the fold. It's not behaving, but that'll do. That'll do. There we go. So this is where we're at now. So I've added in the door, put in some green. I think that was what I did. So I've done the white. So the white around the door I did for gloin, And for Bombor, I did the light green, and then I've just filled in some blue while I had it out the other night. And also did sort of around that, the top of the door and stuff. So that was my effort the other day. As I only did that, ended up doing 295 stitches on that for my casino hand, my poker hand. So I was quite pleased with that in the end. But it's funny because when I first started this one, I was like, why did I start this? Because I'm actually not enjoying it. And then when I started stitching on it the other night, I thought, oh, I actually quite like this now. So it might come back out again. And I'm doing it all in the cord force. So there's a couple of crescent colour works, and the 2 week style works, 3 crescent colours, and or classic colour works as they're called now, and the rest is DMC. So I'm doing it in all the cord fours. Then we come to the 4th of June. So I still have a hand of poker to finish. So I managed to do that. It is now Magical Stitches week 5 for year 4. And the task this week is the dragon. So we're still doing Try Wizard. So it's the task is the dragon task. So you have to stitch on something that you can use to distract the dragon so that you can get the egg. And the other Hobbit quest is musical interludes. So I thought about how can I do the two and tie them in together. And so the musical interlude, there's 2 parts. You can either love the songs. So then if you love the songs, you work on a whip that you love. If you don't like the songs, then you work on, I think, probably something you don't like, I guess. I can't remember that bit because I just went straight for I love the song, so this is what I'm doing. So it was a case of stitch 200 stitches, then roll a dice. Then if you get a 1 or a 2, you're done. If you get anything other than a 1 or 2, then you've got to stitch more. So I rolled a dice, got 3 or 4, I think, rolled the dice again, and yeah, so far I haven't got a 1 or a 2, but that's okay because I think I will probably stitch on this again today and roll the dice, and then we'll just see how we go and give up on it if I have to. But we'll get to that one in a minute. So what am I talking about? Oh, it's in here. I haven't taken it out of my bag yet. So I'm talking about this one. The Cottage Garden Sampling Song, what's it called? The Songbird Garden series. So this is number 1. I think we're up to about number 9 now that she's released, but this is number 1. And I started this earlier this year. I can't remember exactly, but as I'll do, I'll put little notes down the bottom as to when I started and everything. And this is forever and ever. I just think this is beautiful. So my thinking of this is the cardinals are on this. I've never heard if a cardinal sings. I'm assuming they do. But I've said that the birds will sing a song and that they will lull the dragon to sleep. When the dragon's asleep, I'll go in and take the egg. So that's my story. And I'm sticking to it. So, again, I'll put in the before pic. And this is where we're at. This is on 36 count feldspar from Picture This Plus. I'm doing it in all the cord fours and I'm doing it with 1 thread over 2. So I have the love I'd done before and I had started on the leaf. So since then I've done all of the leaf and I've now started on that cardinal. And this is in all in weeks die works. So quite pleased with that. It's actually coming up quite nicely. And another one that, you know, you get back into working. I love it anyway, but I sort of got back into working with it and I'm thinking, I'm just going to have to keep this going. I've got to keep this out for a bit longer yet. Just absolutely love it. So there we go. And of course I've got my Harry Potter needle miner on, of course. Absolutely have to have that one. And then, so last night, I did, what did I do? I did Holiday Express, that's right. Okay, so in Semi-Sane Stitches, there's a side task for this month or a side event called Balance. And I thought, well, I might do that because it looks like a pretty simple one. And so what you had to do was pick a whip, work on it for a week, and then the number of stitches you get, put that in with your finishing pick. Then as part of that, you also choose one of the 5, there was 5 things, stitchy type things listed. There was like needles, needle minders, I can't remember now what it was, but I chose, did I choose sparkles and sheen? Because after all, a girl's got to have bling, right? I love bling, love bling. So, and I thought, seeing I'm thinking bling, I'd do a mill hill. And I also want to be a bit careful because the 1 to 5 will be allocated a number. So tonight they will tell you what you chose, and whatever number is allocated to your thing, not necessarily in numerical order, but so they'll tell me, you know, sparkle and sheen is 3 or 5 or 4 or whatever. That'll be the number of whips. Whoops, I've just dropped it, pick it up and set. That'll be the number of whips you've got to work on for the number of stitches you stitch. So I thought, I have to be a little bit careful with this because I don't want to overdo it. I'm going to keep it at a limit that I know that if I get 5 whips, I can only have to do 200 stitches on a whip for the task. So I was a little bit careful on that one. Stone cold cup of tea now. So what I did is I'd stitched on it for 1 day, and then I stitched on it again last night. And then this one, seriously, it's almost finished. It will be finished today because I'm going to actually finish it now today. And this is Winter Holiday. I started this recently. So I think I showed it in the last video when I started it. And this is where it's at now. So I'll show you the before pic. And you'll see that. That's what I've done. So I started beading last night. Well, actually I just had to put in a little, you know, the funnel and stuff last night, but then I started the beading. And it will be finished today because all I've got to do is bead around there. Oh, excuse me, bead around there, finish that. Do some long stitches in here for the grill. I think that's about it. Oh, that's right. So I've got to do, yeah, still a little bit of beading in here. And then I have to do these funny little things where you've got to make the little bow of beads and sew on the 2 little rondelle beads and it'll be done. So that will be my second finish, hopefully, because I'll go and do that once I finish this video. It will be time to stitch on that. And that brings me right up to date with my whips. So there you go. 10 whips got, I think I said 10 whips got worked on for the month. So that's pretty good. 1 start, 1 finish. Should have been 5 starts, but that's okay. You know, these, they're not going to go off. They're going to, yeah, they'll be there. So that is whips. Now we come to a stash. Stash. Yeah. I have a confession to make. Stitch with Stashes has been shot right out the flipping water. It was bad anyway, but it's gone. Yeah. It's huge. Not so much what's sitting in here, but what's coming. Because Marie, Just Add Needles, had another one of her auctions. This one didn't seem to have as much interest as the last one. So I've picked up a couple of charts. Like I think about 6 are coming my way. They should be here. They're on their way now. So depending on how quickly they get here, I should have them in the next week or so. It's a couple that I've been looking for. And not so much had to have, but nice to have. So I've got just waiting for ships on the way. I got, what else did I get? Can't remember. But I got my unicorn. I had 2 Mira unicorns. I've got 1. And I got another one, but I'm not telling you about that one yet. I got some good news on that one this morning, which has just so made my day. But I won't say anything more about that until it gets here. It might be a little while, but I'll tell you about that one later. So I have one unicorn coming, and then another unicorn coming another time, and then I think pretty much I've got the mirrors that I like, the old mirrors that I really wanted to have. So yeah, I'll be really happy with that. But I won't tell you any more about that until it gets here. But in the meantime, we had the craft show in Perth a couple of weeks ago, and for cross stitch, it's not that good. There's only really one person who sells cross stitch stuff there, so I usually go and have a look around her stuff. And the last 2 years, she hasn't had as many good bargains as what she used to. She used to, and it's one of those things, you sort of don't realise what the bargains are until it's too late. But she used to have a lot of old Bent Creek and really old charts, but she stopped. She's obviously not got them anymore. And I've bought a few Bent Creeks for like $2 and stuff, and I've managed to get a couple more this time. But now she's getting more. She's got a lot more Mill Hill kits, so I did get a couple of Mill Hills, and she's got a lot of other stuff. But I also found, well, I shouldn't say I found, also that was there this time round was the diamond painting lady who is got an online store, I suppose you'd say, over in Queensland. And I've looked at this one a number of times, but I didn't know if I wanted to do diamond painting, but I keep seeing people do it, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. So I had a chat with this lady, and she was showing me, you know, it. And then I saw it. And then I thought, I don't need this. I really don't need this. And then I saw it again, because I walked away and I came back. So I bought it. It's going to be a bit hard to see it, but there you go. So this is called, in this one, Dragon Green. Now, there is a certain FlossTuber who's doing this, but she's doing the Haid version as a diamond painting, and I fell in love with it when I saw it. So when I saw Steph was doing this, because sometimes Stephanie Mizzo So Crafty has hers on, and she talks about it, and she's done a couple where she sort of showed you her doing it with little sort of stitch with me, paint with me type thing. And I've always loved it, and I thought, I can't do Haids. I'll never do a Haid. It's just, I don't enjoy that sort of stitching. But I love this design, and I sort of thought, well, I'll just be one of those people who loves it and not do anything, because I wasn't going to buy it as a Haid and keep it up, which is what Steph's done. But when I saw this, and it's a 30 by 30, so it's not that big, I just thought, you know what, I can do this. So this is a kit. It's got all the stuff inside it. I won't pull it all out because otherwise it'll but it, you know, it comes with the bits and pieces and all of the canvas and the beads and everything. So for $49 Australian dollars, I thought, well, you know what, let's try this. If I don't like it, it's fine. It's just one of those things. So I'll give it a go. And because this is an Aussie one, and she's got a few on her website, so I thought, well, you know what harm is there? So I won't start this for quite some time. I'm thinking this might be my Christmas, when I've got my 2 weeks off over the Christmas break. I might pull this out and do this. Usually I do jigsaw puzzles over the Christmas break. So maybe I might put this on the dining room table, and then I can do that. So what I also did is I got the little plastic bead holders as well. So I got 3 of those to put the beads in. So just wait and see what happens in that space. But I suspect I won't do many more of them. They all look really nice, and I think they're quite a nice thing to do. But I do like stitching, so I don't think that'll change. So what else did we have? So in my little trusty basket down here, excuse me while I disappear off screen for a second, I have my regular things that have turned up, and I won't bother to pull them all out of the packaging. So this was this must be the April one. So this is I'm pretty sure this is April one because the May hasn't arrived yet. And it is Crystal, I assume it's Discord, hard to read the writing, from Pictureless Plus, so 28 count Lugana, opal obviously. It's quite a pretty purple. Who knows what I'll use that for. We have Glitter Village number 6. Oops. I'm sure you've all seen that, so it doesn't really matter. And also from Tammy, I got my Jack's Frost. Was it Douglas fir? Yeah, Douglas fir. I'm not going to start these until I get all of them because I'm going to do them all in the one piece. Also got my May Jodery Designs, which is Spring Fay, which is a really pretty pink. And that's 28 count Opal Brittany. And my regular reds from Jodery Design. And we also have now had arrived the December Blue Topaz. Oh, I suppose she's a fairy. So that's a Mira. And I've ordered the latest Nora Corbett's that came out, the sprites, the Lily Pond sprites, whatever they were. I've ordered those two. I didn't need to do Queen Anne's lace because guess what? I've got Queen Anne's lace when it came out in the magazine and I'm stitching on it. Sort of. It's in my year of whips that I haven't even started this year. So at some point it will be done. Okay, so I mentioned I went to the craft show. And this is where I went a little bit silly. So we bought a Mill Hill, which is a seagull. We bought another Mill Hill. Now this one is the Curly Girl Designs. First time I've seen these are on linen, so it's that horrible linen like Forever Friends, but it's fine. It'll work. So there's that one. Quite like this. Life is far too short to have a little umbrella in your drink. How true. So as you may have guessed, I like Laurel Birch, so I got another Laurel Birch. So this one is called Feline Friends. I also have Feathered Friends in my stash, again on linen. And then I got Celestial Joy, which is also a Laurel Birch, and that's on perforated paper. Then I found, as I mentioned, a couple of Bent Creeks for $2. So this one is just called Joy. And then I found this one called Snow. So at some point they might get done. Peter Underhill does the most gorgeous. Only got, did I get two Peter? Yeah, I've got two, 3 Peter Underhills. So I thought, seeing as I'm doing my sheep lovers stitching, I would get this one. I love these ones. So this is the individual. And they are actually a kit with Ada. So I will probably just stitch it on. Given it's sort of basically a full coverage, I'll just put on some other plain 28 count or something. I don't know what I'll do with that one. Who knows? This one is just the chart. They did have the kit because it was Ada, so I thought I'll just buy the chart and I can do my own thing with it. I love this. This is so cute. So it's called the Cat in Hat. Isn't it so pretty? There's that one. And how could I resist this one? Again, this is just the chart. Crazy Cat Lady. I've been eyeing this off for donkey's years and I thought, you know what, just get it. So that one. And then there was these two which were quite cute. Again, just the charts. And they're also from Heritage Crafts, but these ones are Cats & Co by Karen Carter. And what's this one called? This is Bird of a Feather. They had these stitched and they look absolutely gorgeous stitched up. So a typical sort of thing, you see it stitched, you want to buy it. And this one's 40 winks. Aren't they gorgeous? So that was my craft show haul. Yeah. So I'm going on a stash diet now. Once the Just Add Needles comes in, I think I better stop. Although I do have to get some DMC for a new start that I've got to do this week, this month. But other than that, I think I'm going to have to go on a stash diet. Yeah. But you know what? Sometimes you just don't. You say you're going to be on a diet. It's like any diet, isn't it? You say you're going to do a diet and you have a blowout and it doesn't actually happen. But we'll see what happens. So that was stash. June plans. So June plans, as usual, will probably be dictated by Magical Stitches and the Lord of the Rings Hobbit challenges. I don't have any significant I must stitch plans. I'll stay on, as I said, Holiday Express today because I want to finish that. I'll probably stitch a bit more on Forever and Ever because I'm trying to do the 1,000 stitches for a couple of challenges on that, so that'll be fine. And other than that, we'll see what happens as we go along. But I have 2 new starts definite for this month, and one of them will be this week. This is the next Sheep Lovers sale. It actually started yesterday or today, I can't remember, 7th or the 8th of June. But I'll start it probably tomorrow, we'll see how we go. And I'm starting Louise and Henry from Little House Needleworks. So that was my choice. He had there's 4 choices, and this one, because I've got it, I thought, well, Stitch Stash, I'll start this. And it's all in DMC and a couple of classic colourworks, but depending on what they are, I would say, seeing as that'll be the classic colourworks there, I'm assuming. Unless the white is as well, I don't know, but I'll see how I go. I might just do it all in DMC. And then the other start is birthday sale time for one of the Stitchy friends I've got, and it's Kim's birthday at the end, 23rd of June. So we're starting, I think she's starting A Mermaid, but I'm choosing to start Queen Mermaid. So this is one of the 25th anniversary ones that came out that I grabbed then. So I decided I'm starting her. So I've just got to go through and check my DMC stash, and I'll order what I need. Now, I'm doing her. I have chosen my fabric. It's a 28 count Lugana opal. And I'm planning to do her on this one, I think. This is lavender blue, which causes blowing out because I've got the window open. You can't really see how pretty the blue is. But it is a really pretty blue. Pretty blue. But then I got this the other day. Well, this is my December one when it turned up. And then I'm sort of, I don't think this will work because I think this is too green. So then I got this one. This is another classic colour Cascade fabric of the months called Dark Fantasy. But I think this is going to be too dark a green, I suspect. But I'll do a floss toss and see if the greens stand out okay on this. I think she might look quite good on that, but I've got a feeling that that's going to be too dark. But we'll see. So I may just stick with the lighter colour, but we'll see. So they're the two planned starts for the month. Definitely happening. What else have we got? I think that's it. So that's the start. Now, in case you don't know, it's Stitchathon this weekend in Cross Stitch Finish Line, but it's also 24 hours of Cross Stitch Take 3. So 24 hours of Cross Stitch, if you don't know, is a brilliant idea from Jen Lee, Quirks and Stitches on FlossTube and now Facebook, 24 hours of Cross Stitch. And she and her mum did the first one quite some time ago where they just stitched for 24 hours, and Jen did like a video blog sort of thing of it. The second one, not everybody, a whole bunch of us got involved, and I sort of didn't do obviously 24 hours because I'm team sleep. Sorry, hashtag team sleep. I need to sleep. But I think I stitched to about 2 o'clock in the morning, and that was that. This time round, take 3, which is this weekend, was starting, I think, 4 o'clock on Friday night in the US, so sort of like about 12 hours or so ago, US. So I stitched a little bit last night. So what my plan is, because this time they're going to stretch it over 48 hours, is I will stitch tonight and probably stitch to midnight or thereabouts, but I'm stitching all day tomorrow, or as much as I can all day tomorrow, because I've got Monday off, which means I can do my ironing and stuff on Monday, and I can just stitch all day tomorrow as best I can. So I am hashtag team no bra, hashtag PJs all day, and hashtag team sleep. I didn't want to go in for the no pants because it's too flipping cold to be sitting around with no pants on. I'm sorry. Mine's definitely PJs. So yeah. So that's my plans for this weekend. And that is so good that it sort of coincides with Stitch Along because I was going to stitch anyway. So it's really good. What else? So yes, so I've told you about 24 hours of cross stitch. So yeah, which is why I wanted to do the video today, because it means I can get this up and going, and I'm not worrying about Monday trying to do a video when I'm probably going to have even more black eyes than what I've already got. Yeah. Yeah, because hashtag Team Sleep, more of it please. Or better quality is probably actually what I should say. So for the rest of the month, we'll just keep doing Magical Stitches homework and Hobbit homework. Carrying on with my Semi-Sane Stitches Casino Royale homework, and see how far I go at the end of the month. See if I'm going to have any good quality bedding chips to go. I'm also obviously doing the odd Stitch Mania or cross stitch finish line sale, whichever comes up and suits what I'm trying to stitch. We will also still be stitching towards Mordor, which is part of the Hobbit one, and also doing my Ultimate Cross Stitch Group stitching for Stitching with the Animal Kingdom. What else are we doing? I think that's about it. So that's probably about it. I'm also, it's time to start thinking about Joan Elliott July. So I'm going to do again with Aussie Stitcher and whoever else will be doing it. I think probably Jessie Marie doing Joan Elliott July. So I'll be thinking about what I'm doing there. I'm planning to actually start a new Joan Elliott probably at the beginning of the month. So I've got to sit down and work out what I'm doing with that one. But I think otherwise that's probably about it. Oh, that's right. And Semi-Sane Stitches has got bingo next month. So I have to sit down and work out my bingo prep. And I think that's it. Yes. If I don't finish now, it's now 55 minutes. So that was actually longer than I thought it was going to be. So I better actually stop because you know me, I'll start to ramble, go down rabbit holes, go off on tangents, and you will be sitting here thinking this woman's even more crazy than I thought she was. So I will basically sign off now and sign off by saying thank you again for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the mess of a video that I had this time around. I felt like it was a little bit convoluted this time, but yeah, maybe it was alright. We'll see. Hopefully it comes out okay, and hopefully the lighting's not too bad because it's getting darker outside now. What else do I want to say? Oh yes, I should have said at the beginning, thank you for subscribing. I have had another few more new subscribers, which is lovely. Nice to meet you. Thank you for watching, and thank you to my regular commenters and subscribers and watchers. It's always lovely to see you here every time, and I will be back again hopefully by the end of the month. We'll see what happens. I've got a bit of a busy sort of month with a couple of things. You know, work's absolutely crazy for the next month or so, so I'm doing 2 jobs again. We've got a couple of things on with hubby with Rotary and stuff, a couple of nights out to do, but yeah, I'm sure I'll be able to sneak back at some point and do a quick update video and show you what I'm up to, but otherwise I'll probably see you in a month if not sooner. So for now, thank you again for watching, thank you for subscribing and commenting, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, see you, bye.